Hi friends! It has been a hot minute since I have done a real vlog, and by a hot minute I mean like 2 years. Totally have not forgotten how to do this. I thought today I would talk to you about my fandom journey. Insert sparkly sounds. And by that I mean where I started versus where I am. Started from the bottom, now we My relationship to fandom now is a lot different than it was back when I first got into everything, and I thought I would talk a little bit about that for two reasons. One reason is because the I Ship It series was just released on the CWC network. I wrote 7 nerd rock songs for that, and I will leave the link to watch that in the description. Reason number 2 is because I'm going to be on a panel at GeekyCon at the end of this month about storytelling through songwriting. As I was writing down everything that I'm going to talk about in this video, I realized that it's gonna be really embarrassing. So that's fun. Without further ado, my fandom journey. I always loved Harry Potter as a kid. My dad started reading them out loud to me when I was like 7 or 8. I was always huge into reading. My 9th birthday party was reading themed. We did like a book club thing where we sent a book to everyone who was invited, like with their invitation, and they had to read the book before they came to the party, and we discussed the book at the party. I also thought I was gonna be a writer. My 6th grade teacher told me that I should go to the University of Utah or something to major in writing. Haha. Didn't do that, and totally lost my touch for all fictional writing. This is so embarrassing, you guys. So I don't know if you all are familiar with the Warriors series, but if you're not, it is about talking cats who live in clans in the forest. My best friends in 5th grade, Natalie and Kaylee, were like, Kirstyn, you need to read these books because we want to play cats at recess. 10-year-old me was like, of course, why would I not do that? So I read the Warrior series, and with my friends, I LARPed essentially warrior cats at recess for like a solid year. We had characters assigned to ourselves. I was Blue Star for a really long time, so I was the leader of ThunderClan. Thank you very much. My friend Natalie was Ravenclaw? No, not Ravenclaw, that's Harry Potter! Oh my god! It's like Ravenfur or something. Different than Ravenclaw, the Harry Potter house. Oh my lord. At that point I was living in Lexington, Kentucky, and after that year I left elementary school there and I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, which is where I still am. Somehow I still found people who would roleplay warrior cats with me at recess. Like, I truly don't understand. Fandom wasn't like a huge part of my life at that point. I was still a Harry Potter fan, but it wasn't like, I'm a Harry Potter fan kind of Harry Potter fan. Warriors was just like my little recess thing. LARPing at recess, being a cat. The summer between 8th grade and freshman year rolls around, and my family is going to Green Bay, Wisconsin for a whole month of the summer because my dad had business out there. And we stayed at like an extended stay hotel, and it was truly terrible. I just read books and watched The Nanny. But on our way out of town, I went to a Barnes & Noble and I picked up Harry: A History by Melissa Anelli. I kid you not, my life would be so different right now if I had never read that book. I would not be sitting here making this video probably. If you don't know, Melissa Anelli is the woman who runs Mischief Management, the managing company that does LeakyCon and BroadwayCon and GeekyCon. They just launched a Game of Thrones con. They do a lot. And she wrote this book all about the history of the Harry Potter fandom and Wizard Rock and conferences and this whole fandom that I never knew existed. It opened my eyes, it changed my life,
and at last I see the light.
I got so immersed in the Harry Potter fandom, I began researching Wizard Rock, like MuggleNet, I had no idea about. Harry Potter became my thing going into high school. In Wisconsin, because I just had nothing to do. I was 13, almost 14 at this point. Oh god. Long story short, I became part of a Harry Potter roleplay group on Neopets. It's called the Harry Potter Wannabes. We chatted on the Neo boards. This is where I made internet friends before I even knew what internet friends even were, and no one went by their real name. I roleplayed Katie Bell in this group, and everyone thought my name was Katie in real life, so I did that for like a solid year or 2. See, this is the most embarrassing part of my fandom experience, I think. But you know, I wouldn't be here without it, so and it was in the Harry Potter Wannabes that I found out about a Harry Potter musical, which leads me to the whole next phase of my fandom journey. I was obsessed, you guys, I was so obsessed with the Harry Potter musical and Team Starkid and Darren Criss. It's just unfortunate at this point in my life because I'm friends with so many of them now, and I literally was like a stalker. If you're in Team Starkid and you're watching this, just like ignore that whole part. Probably like my first 3 years of high school, I was very, very into Team Starkid. Made vlogs for a Starkid related YouTube channel, Team Starkid TV. I wrote for a Starkid website, orderofthestarkid.com. I ran a fan account for Bonnie Grusin. I really loved Team Starkid. That's what I have to say about that. Around 2010, after my freshman year of high school, I saw that Melissa Anelli, author of Harry History, who had introduced me to everything, was having a Q&A at my local library, and I flipped out. She was like this celebrity to me, this Harry Potter woman. I went there with my friend Emma, and I saw Steph Anderson of Tonks and the Oars play, and that was my first live Wizard Rock experience. I asked Melissa a couple questions in her Q&A, and she ended up talking about LeakyCon, the second of which was happening the following summer in 2011. I became so attached to the idea of going to LeakyCon. Like, I had to go to LeakyCon. It was in Orlando, Florida at Universal, and my mom was like, if you want to go, you have to pay for everything. Your registration, your flight, your hotel, for yourself and for me. And I was like, okay. I did it, you guys. So in 2011, I went to LeakyCon. It was such a life-changing experience because it was the first time I had seen this community kind of in the flesh, you know? And I also fell in love with Wizard Rock, and it was right after LeakyCon 2011 that I started writing my own Wizard Rock. In 2012, I got really into Doctor Who and Sherlock. I wrote a Doctor Who song at some point that was featured on the BBC website. At this point in 2012, I had been posting my music and stuff on YouTube for about 3 years, and I had just gotten into vlogging, and I had a lot of friends who were going to VidCon, and I actually entered a contest to win an all-expenses paid trip to VidCon, and I ended up winning that. So in 2012, I went to VidCon, and I went back to LeakyCon in Chicago. That year they had the first Leaky Stars contest. That's their talent contest, and I entered, and I made the final 3, and the judges were Pat Brady, which was Team Starkid's agent, Titus Macon, Riker Lynch, Dominic Barnes, and Kurt Mega, who are some of the warblers from Glee. It was amazing. I ended up winning. So LeakyCon invited me back the next year to play main stage Wizard Rock, which was like a dream come true. To be kind of welcomed into that little fold was amazing. And then similarly, Steph Anderson, who was the first Wizard Rock person I ever saw live, invited me to tour with her the next year. So the summer between high school and college, I went on my first Wizard Rock tour. And I think those were the years that my fandom experience really started to tone down, because I was becoming more and more a part of these like core communities of creators within those fandoms, that it was weird to like still really actively fangirl over the people that I was hanging out with, you know? I became friends with Melissa Anelli and Starkid members and John Cozart, who did Harry Potter in 99 Seconds, which I was obsessed with at one point in time, and like I couldn't keep like fangirling over these people and still be their friend. And also I was growing up and out of that mentality, like the obsessive mentality that I had kind of always had was going away slowly, which I think is totally natural and fine. Like, I still love the things that I've always loved, but toned down, muted. People always ask me how I have so many connections and know so many people throughout the whole spectrum of entertainment. I know a bunch of YouTubers, I know people in movies and from TV, and going to these events, going to events like VidCon and Leaky/GeekyCon, and just meeting all of the guests there. I've been on the internet scene for so many years now that it's just kind of like started this snowball effect of people I've been able to meet and get to know, and it's really cool, like really freaking awesome. So from 2013 to now, I've definitely considered myself more on the creator side of the fandoms that I'm in. I'm not saying I'm like super cool and famous, because I'm not. In 2014, yes, 2014, Yulene Kwong approached me about writing songs for I Ship It, the short film. So I wrote Honeydukes and Horcruxes for Mary-Kate Wiles and Joey Richter, two people that I had previously fangirled over. Life is weird! And then now, the I Ship It series just came out, and it was produced by the CW network, the same network that does like Supernatural and Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and what? I'm just enjoying the ride at this point. This video was so all over the place, but that is my fandom journey, and I hope you learned some stuff about me and my warrior role-playing. Watch I Ship It, come to my panel at GeekyCon, and we will have a blast. See you later, guys. Bye. You can't shake me.